Hello, Northwest Arkansas. Welcome to Bird's Eye View Real Estate in Northwest Arkansas. I am your host, Nick Limbird, with my co-host, Tara Limbird of Limbird Real Estate Group.
Hello.
How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing okay. So far, so good.
Well, good. Well, what's going on good out there?
Well, we're a couple weeks now into 2021. 2020 is in the rearview mirror, and now it's all about what's coming next.
Yeah, it's gotten off to quite a start. Lots of crazy stuff going. Some people say it's kind of a continuation of 2020 so far.
I know. Maybe so. Even our 10-year-old daughter pointed out the fact that, well, just because it turns 2021 doesn't mean everything goes away. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. We can just only hope. So.
Well, I think it's the power of positive thinking. And,
That's right.
So we're going to think things are going to go and start settling down, and everybody's lives will get back to some normalcy here.
So speaking of a positive moment, is I found a new app that I like on my phone that I downloaded. It's a motivation app. And it's really cool. You get the first 3 days free. No, I'm not getting anything out of plugging it.
But just, this sounds like a sales plug.
I know. Just to let you know, it's like $20 a year. But the cool thing is that it's got all these different motivational quotes, and you can even set it up on your phone as a little reminder, and it will send you however many you want a day as little reminders for positive motivation. So I like it.
Pretty neat concept. Hopefully you're using that as a business write-off expense.
Yes. Yeah. And I think I have mine set to send me 10 a day. That's how many I need right now in my life.
Man.
Maybe one day it'll be less.
One for every hour of your workday.
Exactly,
right?
for sure.
Well, good deal. For those of you guys just now tuning in, Nick and Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group. Tell us if they want to find out more information on us, where can they do so?
Well, you can go to our website, limbirdteam.com, facebook.com/limbirdteam. We're on YouTube, Instagram, pretty much every site you can think of. Or what Nick likes to say, the good old-fashioned way, you can pick up the phone and call us, 855-755-SOLD.
Or we text message too. So
that's right.
Lots of that these days. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, get in touch with us if you need any information or have any questions in regards to real estate. But we're going to kick off the show. We always like to start off with the positive moment, which you just touched on. But then we're going to move on to a little game that we like to go to just kind of get to know ourselves, so the audience can get to know us a little bit better.
I know it.
So
they may not like this. So it's called Three Things. So we are going to say a question and you get to answer. Nick, I'll let you start. I'm going to ask you, what are 3 things that smell good to you?
That smell good to me? Mm-hmm. That's a tough one. Well, I think, I'm a big pizza fan, so pizza's always good. A clean house is also something that smells really good.
That's true. You walk in.
Thank goodness we have a maid that comes every once in a while. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't smell that too well. So, and then third one, probably just kind of nature and the outdoors. I think just a nice spring, fresh rain. Just kind of outdoor smells, I think, are kind of nice.
Okay. Hey, and in this day and age, too, with COVID, smell is a hot topic, hot commodity.
Very true.
You definitely don't lose your smell. So.
Yeah, we had it back in early to mid-November, and you lost your smell for about 2 weeks. I lost it for about 4 or 5 days, but it's kind of nice when you get it back.
That's right.
It kind of makes you appreciate it even more.
I'll let you ask the next question.
All righty. 3 things that make you smile. Well, I can answer the first one. That's going to be being married to me.
Oh,
right?
Of course. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Now, I would have to say our dogs, they make me smile. And Ellie, this is in no particular order.
I was about to say, the dogs get the nod before the kids.
That's right. Our daughter, and I guess you tend to make me laugh, so we'll go with you.
All right.
There you go.
Sweet recovery at the end there.
That's right. All right. How about 3 things that you can't live without?
Oh, man.
Me?
I think my first, I was going to say my first answer has to be my wife, of course. Otherwise, this show would probably be ending pretty quickly. But can't live without. No, I think family is very important, and that's something that I would have a hard time living without. It's probably my number one priority and why I do things that I do every day. Laughter is something that's really important to me. I'm quite the practical jokester, in case you hadn't gotten a little bit of that vibe from this show. But laughter is super important. And probably friendships. I really value relationships and my friends, and feel like that's really important. So I'd have a hard time without all 3 of those in my life.
That's a pretty good one. Okay. Let's see here. Let's do one more.
I'll do one more. 3 things that you could eat every day.
Oh, goodness. For me would be definitely like any sort of chips and dip, whether it's guacamole, queso, salsa. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two would probably be any sort of like sour candy. Love any kind of candy. You know, I'm a big candy monster. And then number three is tacos. You know, because there's so many variations of tacos. I think I could live with tacos forever too.
And not a single one of those were on the keto. So,
no, that's
the good stuff, right?
Exactly. If
All
I'm going to
right.
eat it every day, then let's just go for the good stuff.
There you go.
For sure.
There you go. So.
Yeah, that's definitely. All right. Well, next up, we're going to talk about. We've talked about this before, actually, on our team. Is we have 5 core values on our team, and so one of those core values that is playing for the person beside us, which this actually came from Eric Hatch, who is a realtor in Fargo, North Dakota. He also has a team like we do, and he's done TED Talks, and he has a book called Playing for the Person Beside You or Beside Us. Now I'm confused, so I have to ask Eric about that. But that one was just a big one because there's a lot of people in real estate and in Northwest Arkansas where we kind of call each other a team because it's more than one person. And for us, a team wasn't about the number of people, but it was the relationship we have with each other and wanting to help each other, have each other's back, and realizing that the team as a whole is more important than any one person on the team.
Sure, great point. And that's a nice thing about with any team, whether it's a real estate team in our case or something else, is it's not, they say there's no I in team, and it takes everybody doing their part. We just a couple weeks ago had the national championship football game, and the NFL playoffs are going on strong as well. And, those teams that are out there winning, they're doing so as a team. There's not, there's some great players making great plays, but it's taking the whole team to win. So that's a very good point.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. So, and in fact, Eric Hatch that I was talking about, for Christmas, we bought everyone on the team his book, and in March, we're actually doing as a team collectively a 2-hour group session with him to ask questions about the book, because we're big believers in learning and educating ourselves, and part of that is through reading, and then to be able to ask the author different questions and us coming together as a team. I think it'll be pretty cool.
Sure, will be. But now let's go ahead and move on into the meat and potatoes, what we kind of wanted to talk about, our main topic today.
We haven't even told anybody yet.
Yeah, but what we're going to be talking about today is real estate predictions for the year 2021. 2020 was an interesting year. We've been touching on that for pretty much since we started our show. But what are we looking at for 2021?
Well, I was doing some research. We had our own predictions, but just doing a little research. And a lot of people have been throwing around the word recession, especially in the year 2020, because of so many people that were affected by COVID or laid off their job and all this sort of thing. But what we have realized, which we knew, but sometimes we have a tendency to forget, is recession doesn't equal housing market collapse, And in fact, this year, even with unemployment going up very high at one point during the year, is that the number of homes that sold was still like, I can't even remember the percentage, like 10% higher than the year before. And the inventory shortage is still widespread. So we are going to see, I think, a lot of the same. Last year, they heavily reduced interest rates, which were already low, but kept reducing those, and that really spiked a lot of the housing surge. And because of that, the inventory issues, I think those interest rates, they're going to creep back up this year. They're going to start slowly going up. Nothing drastic. It's still going to be low interest rates, but I think that will, that's obviously going to have a little bit of effect on the housing market.
Sure, no, that's a great point. Well, and one of the things, of course, 2021 brought COVID, and that did have quite a few people sitting on the sidelines, not being able to earn what they normally may earn from an income standpoint, or some people not being able to work at all. So there's definitely going to be some repercussions from that. A lot of people are unfortunately struggling financially or had that tendency to be doing that. And so I do think that could change some things. I know sometimes people are struggling to make their payments on their mortgages. There's been some forbearance programs that have allowed them to postpone those payments, but at some point that's going to be called. So it's going to be interesting to see what the government does, if anything, to step in and try to help these situations, or if you get into a terrible situation where there may be some people potentially getting their homes foreclosed on, or short selling or something along those
lines. And when you talk of that, like right now there is that moratorium on foreclosures, so there's really not any foreclosures happening right now anyway. And they predicted 58% of the people that are in forbearance right now, once things kind of settle down, they expect 58% of those to go back to normal, where they're gonna work it out with their mortgage company. Maybe they're gonna refinance. Maybe they're gonna tack those payments on. Then that's all gonna work out. Then there was a smaller percentage of people that they think will actually go into foreclosure, but that percentage was actually pretty small. And then there was another percentage that said that they think those people will end up putting their house on the market, just selling it, being done with it.
Sure. So, no, I think it'll create some opportunities, but like I said, we're still kind of not sure what the effects are going to be. It's going to trickle out over time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something that just the switch turns on or off. It's going to be a slow moving target there.
Right. Well, and I think whether you're talking about real estate or any commodity, it's always about supply and demand. And they're predicting the last 6 months of 2021 for it to be heavily increased in the number of listings. They think people that have been sitting and waiting, and they've been waiting for COVID to go away, or they're waiting for a vaccine, people who've been wanting to do something, that the last 6 months of this year that we're going to see a spike in listings, which if you've been a buyer, that may be great news because you can't find what you're looking for. But if you have been sitting on the fence and waiting, it's all supply and demand. If you wait till everybody else sticks their house on the market, that could affect your ability to sell it at top dollar. So I think there's still because of the housing shortage, there's still a strong need for listings. And if you've been thinking about selling your house, it really is a great time because there's not much to choose from. Prices have gone up, and it's just, it's a perfect case for a seller.
Sure, and prices continue to go up as that inventory demand has not been met because the buyers are significantly more than the listings out there.
Right.
We're at record lows right now in our inventory. We usually keep 100 plus listings at all times here locally in the area, and we're down in the 30s right now, which is a significant drop in that. But one of the things, of course, we're reloading, always bringing on listings, but they're selling very quickly, and so that number kind of continues to dwindle down. So that's a great snapshot here locally of what's really going on.
And because of supply and demand, prices have continued to go up. But I know last year when COVID really hit, so many people were terrified, as I was for a little bit, that we were going to see a relapse of the housing crash before. But when you compare a lot of things, it's really interesting because even though we've seen steady appreciation in real estate prices over the last 4 or 5 years, if you compare the percentage of increases to the years leading up to the housing crisis, at that point in time, prices were jumping up 2 and 3 times as much. So it's, you look at that and you say, okay, prices are going up, but they're still not bad compared to what they could be. And then you look at the biggest difference too, before the housing crash happened before, so many people were getting 100% financing. They didn't have any equity in their homes. And right now, Americans or homeowners have more equity in their homes than ever before. Last year, I think the number was around $170,000 that the average homeowner had equity in their home, and that went up again by another $17,000 again this year. So, and when you have a lot of equity in your home, if you get into financial bind, you've got choices,
Sure. No, that's a great point. We have an agent on our team who bought a house the first half of 2020, and we're in a new construction neighborhood that we're still working in. And we kind of did a rough figure of what her house is worth now, and she's got about $31,000 in equity in less than a year.
Wow.
Which, a lot of that's due to the demand and the prices rising. There's been, from the construction side, there's been a huge hike in lumber costs. Just for example, a $250,000 range new construction home, the lumber increase has been anywhere from about $12,000 to $17,000, and that's just in the wood and lumber material side of things. That's not taking into account anything else. So that's a significant margin for a house of that price range.
Right, and that's what buyers need to think about if they've been thinking about buying a home. They were showing an example, a $300,000 home right now, by the end of the year will be the same exact house will be priced a minimum of $314,000. So waiting costs you $14,000 for the same house. And if interest rates go up too, because right now they're in like 2.7, 2.8%, by the end of the year they see them more around 3.5%. then so now the same house costs you $14,000 more, and then your payment is $180 higher.
Sure. No, that's a great point. And I think one of the things as prices go up, it has not really affected the market and has kept it moving at a real rapid pace is because rates have stayed lower.
Yes.
So those increases don't hurt as much if your interest rate were a little bit higher. But like you said, if they do start to trickle up, which we do expect this year moving forward, and even if they get up into the 3.5s, that's still a historically low rate that's insane. It's almost like money's free.
Right.
But I think that's why people aren't as worried more about the overall price of the home. They're worried about what that monthly payment and what they can afford.
Right. The interest rate obviously affects the affordability factor of a home.
Sure. And you look at the average buyer here in our market locally in Northwest Arkansas, and 450,000 used to be a really incredible house, and it still is. But that buyer now, compared to say 7-8 years ago, that buyer now in this market is a 600,000 plus buyer.
Yeah,
and so it's everybody's been, and that's kind of a good thing because the prices continue to go up. So you kind of have to have that extra buying ability, and that's where that low interest rate can help you or hurt you if it does continue to go back up.
And the market research that I have been speaking of, one of the things they mentioned, which I thought was interesting, is overall, if you look at the COVID and how that's affected things this year, financially, unemployment, housing market, the people that have been most affected are renters. And they said because the average renter usually doesn't have a lot of money saved up. And whatever money they do have saved up, maybe to buy a house, they've had to tap into that because they've been laid off for their job and they're trying to make their payments and they've gotten behind. And so where the homeowner, that their home has continued to go up in value, they keep gaining equity in their home. So they have resources, they have just a lot of options to tap into where the renter hasn't. And now they're saying that renter that was saving money to buy a house in a year now maybe can't. And so it may affect some of those first-time home buyers or just a renter who is waiting to jump in the market.
Sure. That's a great point and a lot of truth to that. One of the things that also, as these rates are lower, if you are renting out there and have even, considered buying a house, you need to really consult with an agent, preferably the Limbird Real Estate Group. Shameless plug there.
There you go.
But to see what you can afford, because you'd be amazed at sometimes with these rates being as low as they are, you may be paying more to rent than it could be to own your own home. And at that point, you own it, you're getting an opportunity to build your own equity. So if you've got an interest, or even maybe you don't, you just want to know, we have that conversation weekly with people, and a lot of them are very surprised at how much buying power they have at what their same rate that they're paying to rent a property. And like I said, it's always nice to own your own place. And then at the same time, we're seeing a lot of millennials who don't want the responsibility of owning a home. They don't want to worry about the maintenance. They'd rather call that property management company or that homeowner and have them handle it. People like the ease of it. So it's, owning a home is not for everybody. I personally, because I've been in real estate a long, long time, I feel like it's one of the best investments you can make, or not make in some cases, that doesn't get you along the way. But that's something, if you got an interest, we're always open to discuss that. And part of what we do here is educate people so they can make the best decision for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the goal of this show is just to make some predictions for 2021, and I think right now it appears to be more of the same, where the rates are going to go up a little bit, but it's still going to be a strong market. Home prices are going to continue to appreciate. Current homeowners are going to continue to gain equity in their homes, and there's still a housing shortage. So it's still a seller's market right now. It's healthy to some degree, because things are appreciating, but not at a overly rapid pace where we should be concerned. So
sure. Now that's probably a great recap there, and it'll be interesting. There's a lot of new construction going on out there, and one of the things and challenges builders are having, we mentioned before, with prices increasing, lumber, and I noticed here within the past week or so, concrete and block has gone up as well for some builders, for foundations, sidewalks, all the stuff that you need for building a house. But what you're going to see too is they're having a hard time meeting that demand, but even more so, they're building as fast as they can, but one of the challenges is finding lots. And
very.
something that, I had two builders call me last week. that I don't really even work with directly, and going, hey, can you help me out here? We need some lots. And we're starting to see a lot of these builders, some bigger than others. We're starting to really looking, for the next 6 to 24 months, you've got to kind of lay out the groundwork for where you're going to be. And they're going, man, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting a little nervous because I don't have anywhere to build. And builders that would be in a certain area and maybe build 4 or 5 houses at a time, they're going and jumping from one town to the next, just doing a one lot here, one lot, or just doing customs. So.
That's right. So anyway, next week we're going to be talking about our next topic is what is a support team and why is it important? We talk a lot about having a team, and our team is not just licensed agents, but it's also our support team. And I think a lot of people are like, well, what's that mean? How does that help me? Why should I care if a team has a support team? So we're gonna dive a little deeper into that. But before we go, again, you're here on Bird's Eye View Real Estate Northwest Arkansas. We do have a question from the audience. Nick, you want to hit us up with this question?
Sure. This is from Jared from Siloam Springs. What is your favorite way to spend your day off?
Ooh, good one. First of all, we don't get a lot of those, do we?
No, when you're in real estate, you work about 7 days a week, and
yeah,
you just try your best to find holes of
that's a hard question.
Time to enjoy your time off.
What do I like? What did I used to like to do when I had a day off?
There you go.
Yeah. But I know for me, I like being outside. I like going, being outside with Ellie and the dogs, or going for walks, riding bikes, nature trails, things of that nature.
Yeah, well, this time of year it's kind of hard to do. We've had a really cold winter so far.
It is.
So it's hard to get outside and enjoy it without bundling up. But I guess a lot of it's just cozying up to the fireplace and watching movies or football or basketball or something like that.
Yeah, thank goodness for my treadmill I got for Christmas. So.
There you go. You can run the Peloton.
There you go.
There's another plug. We'll see if they'll sponsor our show here soon.
What about you? What do you like to do on your day off?
Well, I enjoy watching sports. I'm a big sports junkie, so I spend all my time on the weekends watching football and basketball this time of year. And
so who are your favorite teams?
Well, of course, I like the Razorbacks growing up in Arkansas, but I did graduate from the University of Mississippi, also known as Ole Miss, so I do cheer on the Rebels as well.
So you're a little bit of a fence rider.
That's what all my friends call me, and I take it gracefully and just do what I do. But no, I'm more of and I like pro sports. I don't really have a team that I necessarily follow, but I do watch it and enjoy
on baseball, you do.
Well, yeah, the Chicago Cubs.
Yes, yeah.
They finally got the World Series win a few years ago, and now they're starting to rebuild. So it's going to be
another 100 years.
Yeah, very well could be. So very well could be.
Yeah. Well, good deal. Well, I'm glad you guys tuned in today to listen to Real Estate Predictions for 2021 here on Bird's Eye View Real Estate in Northwest Arkansas. If you need to reach out to us, don't forget we do have our instant offer program as well, which is a maximum convenience program. If you're thinking about selling your house and you're like, I just don't know that I want to jump through some of the hoops to get my house ready, make some repairs, deal with showings, appraisals, finances, all that sort of stuff, then we'd be glad to look at your home and see if it might be a good fit for that. If not, let us know. We can do the traditional method as well, which is more of our maximum equity program to get you top dollar for your house. So
well, we specialize in the traditional, and so we like to give options.
That's right. I think everyone likes options in life, and here is no different. So we got lots of options. So don't forget, next week, tune in, and we're going to talk about a support team, what a support team means in real estate, why it's beneficial, why you need it, why you want it, why you should look for it, all those good things. So any final words, Nick?
No, I think you nailed it there at the end. But thank you for tuning in to Bird's Eye View Real Estate in Northwest Arkansas with Nick and Tara Limbird of Limbird Real Estate Group. Hope to see you next week.
See ya.